So we're on part 2 of today's Bee-a-Thon 3. Thanks for tuning in no matter where you are. And we are at the Davis Food Co-op, the world famous renowned co-op, profiling a plant that might be the essence of the human honeybee connection. Of course, in the summertime, there's one treat that everybody loves, and it's the watermelon. But a lot of people don't know the history of the watermelon and how intimately connected it was not only to the creation of the United States, but to the proliferation of the entire Western Hemisphere. Now, as you might know, the watermelon is not a native plant to the United States. It's originally from Africa. And archaeologists believe that it was perhaps African slaves that first brought the watermelon over to the Mississippi Valley back in the 1600s. Now, just about that same time, European settlers wound up in the United States, and they brought the honeybee. Before the 1600s, the honeybee was not found anywhere in the Western Hemisphere. That's North or South America. The English settlers brought it up to the United States and the colonies, and the Spaniards took it down to Mexico. Before that, it was only stingless bees, bumblebees, and other native pollinators. But since then, the connection between the watermelon and the honeybee literally transformed the American colonies and enabled the United States to take place. In the early days, crops such as tobacco and sugarcane, which were major cash crops, were difficult to grow. They were labor intensive, and many of them just didn't grow that well in the United States. The watermelon, however, was discovered to be a particularly fantastic fruit, not just for the colonists, but it could be shipped. It had this unusual shell, this unusual skin, and it was oblong, so it could be stacked into all of the ships and sent back to Europe. It became, in fact, one of the earliest cash crops for the American colonists. So the watermelon, the colonists, and the honeybees all showed up just about the same time. Now, in fact, the honeybee does a nice job of pollinating watermelons, but there are native bees that are much better at it, such as the bumblebee, the yellow-faced bee, and the squash bee. But what made the watermelon and the honeybee so important to the early American settlers is that they were able to transport that. So not only were they able to move the watermelon across the continent, they were able to take their pollinators with them. Again, this essential connection between the human, the honeybee, and the foods that we grow for sustenance and for commerce is really no better example in the world than the watermelon. So I just wanted to put that out there, so as you enjoy your watermelon this summer, just take the time to think about this human honeybee connection. That's what the Bee-a-Thon's all about. It's all about understanding that our evolution, our cultural evolution, our societal evolution, is very, very interdependent, not just on the bees, but on how they conduct the symphony of pollination here in the modern world. All right, we're going to move back to the studios. The live broadcast starts at about 2 p.m. Pacific time, all the way up to 6 p.m., and you are watching the Bee-a-Thon 3.